Morning everyone, morning. So I was just checking that it would let me come on as me, but I don't know if it has or it's come on as Dolly's. I don't know. Anyhow, good morning. We've got beautiful sunshine today, but my goodness, is it a true autumn day here. Whoa, the wind has a slight nip in the air, shall we say. Hi Jane, hi Alison, hi Sue, hi Terry. How is everyone? Oh, right, I'm just going to quickly have a slurp and might as well finish my coffee before it goes cold. Right, oh, where am I going to put you that's safe? Oh, you know, you go, oh, let's put you up there. That's probably the safest place for you. Nippy here too, yeah, it is. It's very, I was like, whoa. It was, I was walking the dog out on the fields and I thought, geesh, sort of thing. It was getting to the stage where I was wondering whether I needed to actually go back and get my hat, sort of thing, which is a bit shame. Hi Caroline, how is everyone? Right, okay, I'm going to wait a few minutes. Well, I'm not going to wait too long because I just get nervous then, which seems really bizarre. But I do. I am just as a precaution, so I'm sorry if I make you go all seasicky. Just going to plug my phone in as a precaution. There we go. I've got enough charge. Hi Kim. Right, okay, breathe in the air. Whoa. Okay, so breathe in the air is the third part of the collection. Sorry, my phone's just dipped. I apologise again if I make you seasick. There we go, let's try that. So breathe in the air is the third part of the collection. Now this isn't going to be the part of the ODS. So the ODS, or the one day special for those who don't know, or is going to be the Build a Butterfly 1 and 2 with the matching dies and the stencils. This is a standalone set, and we wanted to do that because it was to give everybody still choice and to also keep the price down rather than have a mega big bundle that was going to cost a lot. Charmaine and Robbie have really thought hard about the actual pricing of the collections and tried to do it in a way that, so for example, Build a Butterfly 1 and 2 will be like a pick and mix. So the P&P will be the same. So if you bought both of them, say for example, the P&P would still say at £2.99, and then if you wanted to buy this one on top, it would only be £1 more, and it was really keeping everything down to manageable costs, and not being forced to buy a big bundle, you know, if you didn't want to. So I'd say imagine us all in our underwear, but that might terrify you. Oh, I used to say that to the children, sort of thing, and they used to sit there and just go, ooh. But actually, that was years 5 and 6, so it was just like, ugh. Anyhow, Breathe in the Air. So Breathe in the Air is a DL stamp set, and it's the one main focal image, which I'll show you, and it's got a bulk of sentiments. Now, the reason for all the sentiments being on this set and no sentiments in the other set is, one, you've got sentiments in the dies, but two, as it was Build a Butterfly, and most people have sentiments, or they'll have dies, layering dies, they'll have sentiments from previous stamp sets. So it was all about you being able to create the butterfly and mix it in with what you've already got. Other Dolly Dimples stuff, other shady designs. But this one has the sentiments in, so you can just stamp the main image and have a few sentiments in. We've kept them really generic, so they can go over to art journaling as well as to card making. And this sentiment down here, if I lift it up, is a montage. So you've got your things like your birthday, celebrating you, and you can then use that, you know, to create backgrounds with, and then put the stamp on top. Now, as I said before, the stamp, Charmaine went, oh, we're going to have outline dies. And I did go, oh, no. Morning, Sharon. Hi, Linda. Hi, Kim. And she went, no, we're going to have outline dies. We're going to have this, that, and the other. And I was like, oh. But So it does come with an outline die. So when you get the stamp, I'm just going to get my, if I get my stamp sheet, there we go, and move that over. So that's the actual stamp. So you get the whole stamp by itself, but you then get an outline die. I'm going to move that, which then when it goes on top, will cut the whole of that image out. So when it's stamped and cut out, it looks like that. So you can now stamp it away. You can stamp and die cut it out, which means then you can put it on whatever project you want to put it on, and you can layer it up as well. But then what Charmaine had a look at the whole set and went, do you know what? I layer things up. And where I would stamp multiple times and cut out, that's not everybody. Oh, Alison, watch this space about the multi-words is all I'm going to say. You know, I would stamp and cut this out multiple times, whereas Charmaine thought, right, fine, you know, that's not for everyone. So she created then another die that will then cut the separate butterfly out. So now and it will then look like this. So you can use the butterfly separately, or alternatively, it means you can colour and set this up and the wings, and you now create a 3D look with the actual butterfly. So you can create that straight away, or alternatively, you can use it completely separately. You know, the choice is yours. But you've got that layering. If you're not into the fussy cutting, but you love your die cutting, you've got both of those options there. The other thing, the reason that this is this shape is I wanted it to work alongside other shady design stamps. So I'll go into all the other dies in a moment, but I'll show you what I mean. I wanted this to be able to work alongside the other shady designs and do the things I love to do. So if I just grab this page in, so this is in my art journal, and this is Make a Mark. So all I've done with Make a Mark is I've just stamped it round, and then I can have the image working in there, and it can be then become part of it. Now you could stamp it and just cut it away, but I like to cut my pages away, and now I could stick this down and I've got a better line to cut around the outside edge of it and create a shaped page. But I've then got this part again that I can then make it a layered page, so I can bring in all the different forms of art journaling that, you know, I want to do. It also works beautifully with, if I'm just going to move this out the way, because I'm just going to grab a piece of paper quickly just to show you. If you've got the previous shady designs, which I've got all my stamps out on the floor, I've been really good and got them all out. And then I wanted it to be able to go with Stamp Block Louise. Look, I'm telling myself off already. That, I mean, I would do this on a bigger piece of paper, but just to show you. So this is Painted Mixings, and I wanted the DL stamp, so you could create a border. Let's stamp off the dies, and that would be a bit better. Can you tell I was using my Painted Mixings with paint? So if I now put the Painted Mixings stamp there, I could Make a Mark, or I could use the Painted Mixings. Okay, let's put you over there for the moment. But I can then take this one, and because I can die cut it out, I can layer the two on top, so I can make the others work together. You could, if you didn't want all the detail around the side there, so for example, very quickly, if you wanted to see, because it's on a log, I'm just going to do this. You could still die cut it out, and I'm just going to take away the leaf bit down the side. Oh, now, see, sorry, I've gone into cutting mode, but that's just me. But for a minimal amount of cutting, I can then have it so it then sits on top of the Painted Mixing. So instead of the log now blends into the paintbrush and they suddenly become all one design, how you wanted to. Oh, Tracy, that's a shame. Morning, Mum. Hi, Carol. So now the two can sit on top, so you can create it. Or if you didn't want to do the make a mark, I could do the same sort of border with the painted mixings and move it around and have the stamp going on the side. And then, like I said, I would cut away the edges and that would give me a shaped page. But I love my shaped pages. So the DL size was done that way, so it would, you know, work with everything. Sorry, I'm filing everything on the floor, which is very unlike me, much. Okay, so, and that, you was it. So you've got those two main, you know, features there that go with the actual die. There's lots of other reasons why the die works, but I can show you those as well. Now you get this one in here as well, which is like a background piece. I've got a piece that lots of us have used it in different ways, but I want to show you one that Jane's done in a moment, because it's absolutely out of this world how she's done it. So when it die cuts away, it die cuts like that. So now you can have that as a background. As I say to everybody, I cut in white and then I colour. It's just me. But so I've got that now, but the butterfly can actually now just simply sit on top. And you've created a really quick card. Very, very quickly. So it's, if you're just starting out on the art journaling journey, or even just starting out on, you know, mixed media. I use mixed media loosely because I think mixed media has become a title that now seems to scare people, and it isn't. When you think about it, if you use a spray, if you sit there and do washy backgrounds, they're all like mixed media techniques and stuff like that. I think what we need to really say is, if you feel like really creative, instead of keep saying mixed media. So you've really got a really quick background, and then you can easily just bring in, you know, stamp and bring in one of the stamps, and you've got a really quick card, or bring in one of your other sentiments. So that was the design there, but it also then would work with the other butterflies you've created. So you can create your butterflies, die cut them out. Oh, thank you, Brian. I do, Brian. I think we keep banding this phrase around, and I think it just scares people, and it shouldn't. We've all got inks, we've all got something that makes a mess, if you want to say that. So we're all mixed media artists, we just choose to do it in our own ways. So that now could sit on the other background. So we wanted that, but we also wanted it to be generic enough that it could be used as a stencil. So it could be used as a stencil, and you could stencil through it, and you could create backgrounds with it, and then build it up and use all the different layers. So make it like a chipboard layer by cutting it 2 or 3 times. Or alternatively, like I said, I cut from white, I don't cut from brown. I can take one from here, and if I layer them over the top of each other, I create a smaller crosshatch, or I can create a, you know, smaller crosshatch that way. It also means I can join the pieces on, and I can make a bigger piece if I wanted to, whatever direction. So if I was making an A5 card or art journal page, I can now have this spread across and going in however many directions I want it to go. Or as I said, we can layer it up and make it like a chipboard. So that was there, so it would go over and work with everything, but it is independent. And I think it's immediate, but yeah, I agree, Caroline. It's just, but the thing is though, as soon as you say the word substrate, everybody goes, what? Substrate? Substrate? But the idea with it in being in the die set was that you had a background that you could put your butterfly on straight away, and you've got the sentiments to go with it. And you could create, you know, an art themed card if that's what you wanted to do, a little bit of ink splatting at the background, and that was it. So also in there you've got some words, and I cut the words out. I think I'm going to need to get my pokey tool though. I was picking something up, sorry, I'm acting a little bit delicate this morning, and I managed to ram something up the inside of my nail, so my nail is feeling a little bit delicate. Right, I'm just going to move those just for a second over the way. Now, we got some words in there, and the words are based on my handwriting, believe it or not. At school, Jane will probably say the same, and Alison as well, because work in schools. Cursive script handwriting. It went from a stage where we spent years teaching children not to join their G's, their Y's, their J's, and everything like that, and they had to be separate letters, to someone deciding we were going back to cursive. So then I had to teach myself again how to write in cursive after spending years not doing it, because I was taught to write in cursive. So it was like, oh. Right, so we've got that. So we've got those words. So I'm just taking those bits out there. And in the words you've got here, you've got you, be, and, to, choose, and always. And you've got I. Oh, there it is. I was about to say, I thought I did do an I. And I know it's a bit of a pain for people to cut words out separately, but the idea behind it was, if you were again new to art journaling, you, good old copper plate handwriting, yeah. Oh, when it changed, Jane, I couldn't believe it. I just thought, we've spent years, you know, blue lines, red lines. For anyone who's not into schools, you used to have handwriting books, and you'd get the lines, and then you'd have a blue line and a red line, and that meant certain letters went to the blue line, certain letters went to the red line. Oh, nightmare. Anyhow, I digress. So you've got you, I, be, and, to, choose, and always. So what it was it allows, you've got words here that the font matches the fonts from the previous other dies. Some might be slightly skinnier, but so you can mix in these words if you've got Build a Butterfly 1 and 2. And also with some of the dies we've got coming for future launches. Don't worry, that's not going to happen straight away. But then you can change it. So you can have, for example, choose to be you always. Okay, so that could be on a card, or always be you. That could be on a card. You've got you and I. Okay, so you've got different ways of making different words, different sentiments in the same way. The other reason I wanted the font, I've got loads cut here to show you a different idea that I did. The other reason the font is a little bit bigger than you would probably see for generic words, sort of thing. Only a teacher could write in red. Oh, you can't write in red anymore, Diane. You can't write in red. Pink and green. Red is seen as like too negative. By the time I used to mark a piece of work and then added highlighters on top of it, you couldn't see the children's handwriting. It used to annoy me. I used to photocopy it and do that. So the words there, and they're always quite big. And then one of the reasons I wanted the words to be quite big was I wanted to be able to create my own stencils with them. So now I can actually stencil through these, and I'm going to show you what I mean in a moment with it. And I can then, I've got an outline. So if I want to make a background and I want to have some subtle words in it, and I don't want to stamp, I can use these words. So I could always have like, always choose you. And I've made this as a template, and I can have that now in the background running through my art journal page because I can stencil through them. I have a pencil case full of red pens because I ended up with so many of them. So we've got going from there. So I'm just going to put them up there. And that's why the words came in about it. So if I show you what I mean, I love using the words to create backgrounds. So on this card here, I've literally taken all the words, and like I said, I cut in white. It's just a white or cream. It's just my thing. I just find it easier to then be able to choose the colours I want to choose. Sorry, let's bring that down from the camera a bit. Sorry, just see if they... So I've used the words as a background. So my thing was like always be you. Okay, so we've got that running all the way there. And what I haven't done is added the next part. So I've got my background, but what I do is I always, there's me now going to use the word always, I actually will work out where I want my sentiment to go, and I stick them down first and then use the rest of the words. I used, as you can see, the little bit of the grid work in brown as a stenciling on top, so it's partly coloured it, and then I've just stamped and die cut the butterfly. The only thing I've done a little bit different is I have gone in on certain areas and just cut those out, but that's just me, and then a few gems. But where I've left this bit here, it now means if I took the words and I stamped them, I've gone brown, but if I did them in black, always, it means I've got the words backgrounds giving me texture straight away, but then I can die cut them in another colour. So it would have been better die cut. I will die cut that probably in black. I can then have those words saying always be you, then stands out a little bit more. And I've done my sentiment, but I've got a really easy tactile background in the same way. So that's one way, you know, of doing it. The alternative way of doing it, if you didn't want to sit there and cut everything, you know, out, is, let me grab a piece of card. Let's just do that and move over. Is that if I was creating a quick background, let's have a think. What shall we do? I'm just going to grab two colours I've had, look. And if I choose, I'm just going to do a quick pick raspberry. So what I wanted from these was to be stencils as well. So if I'm just going to do a quick background, and then it colours it. So we'll just put a bit of that there. And we'll just put a little bit of it here. So I've just got a quick background there. So now, if I wanted to, I'm going to go over, let's go over with the purple. I would do a little bit more blending. But I can now, because I've created, I'm going to build up a background. Always choose you. And then I can carry on. And that's why I wanted the words to be just that little bit bigger, that you can keep these bits that you cut away and they're big enough and clear enough that they then suddenly become a stencil. So your waist, actually, you have a reason for your actual waist. So you've then, you know, you keep building in your background from there. And then if I bring in like the stamped image, I can always have that, you know, going on the top. And it was a quick way of making an inky background, and I can still use these words on my project and mount it up differently, or I've got them always in the background there. And that's why the fonts are that little bit bigger. So, you know, so you've got all those there, and like I said, just cut them out, keep your negatives. And you can then bring in your sentiment, especially if you're art journaling, in lots of different ways. Let's just put the lids on those before I put my hand in them. So I'm just going to move those out of the way. So the two together, it looks like a set that doesn't do very much, but it does. So you can then create, I've got my always choose you. I've coloured my background. So if I tore this up a little bit and I carried that going on, I've got, that can sit there. I've got a little bit going there, and I can have the stamped image on top. I've then got my additional layer, you know, obviously colouring, and you can create an easy inky background with nothing else but what you get, sort of thing, you know, really, really quickly. And that's just what I wanted it to be, that little bit more. And so yes, I have to give Charmaine a pat on the back now for doing the outline dies and doing all the dies with it, you know. And you just go, At the time there was a few words said, and some of them probably I can't say out loud. There were some heated discussions, I think I'll leave it that way. But it was, so even though the set doesn't look like it will do much going over to inky styles and it will. It can then very quickly become, yes, go me. It can really quickly become a great way, or a great introduction set into seeing how we create our backgrounds and layering everything up, and then taking the next step as you want to go. So let's just put those to one side for the moment. So with that in mind, I wanted to be able to do... Sorry, I'm just going to have to find journal pages. Not that one. Not that one. Yeah, here we go. So this is a journal page that I've done with it. And what I've done is, I've just done stripes of ink. I've just torn some paper, some stripes of ink. And I've then used that background die to do some extra stenciling and extra inking on top. And all I've done is stamped and die cut that in white. And then with a black pen, just filled in some of the areas. I've gone with the Choose to Be You. I've done them in white. So they sort of stand out, but they don't, as well. As you can see, and I just left the die cuts there. I mean, I could go over with a gilding wax if that's what I had. And then all I've done is finished it off with some of the washi tape designs that we've got going and added it on in bits from there and one of the stickers. So, you know, you can create, you know, a quick page. I've then used some of the other sentiment stamps lightly in the background. So I've gone just from tearing up bits of paper and creating something that's like this sort of size, like what you would do for a card. I can adopt the same idea and make it into like an art journal page very, very, very quickly, just by adopting the same sort of ideas. And the only difference was I had some scrap paper and I just tore it and just inked by the tearing. And as you can see, I've just gone down. And I've just used 2 colours. I think I used Salvage Patina, or 3 colours, and Twisted Citron and Peel Paint. But, and that, you know, so it's a quick, you could start off with a smaller idea and then suddenly get into art journaling in a completely different way. And that's just from that set. Okay, I brought the stickers in, but that is actually just that set alone that's made that whole page. But in the same breath, I wanted all the different elements to work in a different way. So on the stamp set, I've not used the butterfly image on here as yet. You get all the different sentiments. So we've got this one here, which is like the montage one. And I've used this with Make and Mark, and I've just done 2 corners and just simple ink blending. But behind the Make and Mark, I've taken one of the wings from Build a Butterfly 2, I want to say. And very subtly they're in there, and that's where all the little flowers have come from. So I've stamped them, and then I've just coloured in the tiny little flowers to make it stand out as a border. And then just using that montage stamp, I've created my background just over and over and over, and then brought in the Fly High in different colours. And it was a really quick background, you know, like a 20-minute, I know it doesn't look it, but it was a 20-minute page to make. And then I can have my butterfly in the centre if I want it to be there. I could even layer it up if I wanted it to be there. I could put it up in the top, down the bottom, so it could sit there, you know, and work that way. Alternatively, what I wanted it to be able to do is, looking at your other items, I had a brainwave, as you do, every now and then. What I wanted, so I've got it there, so it works with the butterfly. But if you've got other Dolly Dimples stash, I thought, so bringing in Vincent Fox, I could have Vincent Fox now sitting down in the corner here, and with the Build a Butterfly 1 or 2, I could make a smaller butterfly that goes into that top corner. So it was really, you know, a quick way to create backgrounds. Again, a bit like Shady is like, I've stamped Make and Mark 4 times. I've stamped the butterfly wings once, 2, 3, so 6 times, that's it. And then just coloured in the pink flowers and a bit of green blending with a blending brush. Stamped this multiple times, and that is it. And that was really how quickly the background came together. But it works, like I could bring in other images. It doesn't have to be for a butterfly, so you could then take it the next step and bring in other things that you've got. It's having the ideas. Carol, I have plenty. It's I don't know, I think sometimes when you sit down and I actually, to be honest, to come up with the ideas, I will, like in front of me now is like half a dozen ink pads, and I will just stick to what the colours I pull out and then make it work around there. But so it was, so that's just one stamp set, and I know I brought in some of the shadies, but from little stamps you can create bigger pages, and so a smaller stamp set suddenly makes you that little bit braver. I think I am going to put Vincent on here, but I can't decide if I want to colour him greys or do him really vivid oranges so he stands out. So that's why he's uncoloured at the moment. And I wanted it to be able to go and do things like that, you know, going forward. Right, okay, so let's just move you out of the way. So I'm just going to put you up there. So like I said, so the stamp set was to be able, you know, to do lots of different things, but it doesn't look... It's one of those things that when you start playing with it, it changes in a completely different way again. Now, the other thing I wanted to be able to do is, and this is, I have to... loath to keep saying it, you know, Charmaine did a good idea, you know, you just go, and I'm just like, but I wanted to be able to, so like where we've got, this is now got none of the stamped image. Not everybody wants to do layered pages, so I'm just going to grab my art journal. I'm not going to do a full art journal page, because you would have lose me. So this is an art journal page. It's looking a bit grubby because it's on the back side there. But this now, technically, if I had stamped this, and, you know, stamped all the design, it's, you know, technically my waist. So I could colour through here and then stamp on top. And I've given myself a coloured background straight away for my stamped image. I'm going to do something different actually on the journal page. So I'm just going to grab a piece of card and show you what I mean. Charmaine, I'm running out of card. Just a bit of a hint. And then I'll go back to the journal page. So this is technically my waist here. So if I'm just going to grab what inks I've got out in front of me. Like I said, I keep certain inks in front of me, and that's how I would do it. So now if I wanted to do something really inky, so your waist is always, you know, like your stencil, your design, however you want it to be. So I'm just going to do quickly. So we do that there. And it's looking at the sets and something that seems, you know, like just one stamp and 4 sentiments or whatever. You just go, okay, yeah, it is what it is. But it isn't. It's been designed. I want everybody to be able to try a different style and get into lots of different things without it being overly complicated and, you know, achievable straight away. I mean, don't worry, there is going to be lots of inspiration coming up with everything, and we're not going to leave you without the inspiration, so don't panic there. So now I'm just going to create, let's put a little bit more ink on there. So I've just used the waist there. Just move you guys back out the way. So now I've got a coloured background, but if I grab the stamp. Now I'm not going to be worried if I don't get it in perfect place. And I think sometimes, you know, we do this. If you want it in perfect placement, stamp block, stamp platform. Sometimes I think going with the flow is part of the fun. So let's just go like that. Okay. So now I can use a negative space and create a really quick coloured background. But what that also means, whereas I've got this here, I can then go and so I've got that negative one there, so I've just got stamps everywhere. I can now take this if I want to, and I can now put my outline die back on top, and I can die cut that out. And and have it that way round as well, rather than trying to work on a die cut piece. Or I've got this flat, you know, to work on. And again, I could do exactly the same with this piece here. Or did I keep the waist from that piece? I normally do, but I must have got rid of it. But now I've got that coloured in, I can stamp this, and let's just curve it slightly. And I can put that on top. And I've got a really quick background for a card. You know, so don't think of your waist. Your waist can help you colour lots of things in lots of different ways along those lines. But that's, right, so let's put you there. But that's what I wanted to use. So I'm going to put that there. I hope I'm not bamboozling you all in the same way. Right, so what I want to do is, so this is the back of this page here. So I'm just going to grab some greens. And I might do some blues, we'll see. So this is what I would have stamped, you know, if I wanted to stamp it out and work it. I haven't stamped on top of it because I always stamp into my pages. But now I can, if I stick this in place, so if you put a little bit of low tack. So I'm just going to use this as a mask, basically. And just create a really quick background. So, normally I would, I'm making this look cat-handed, but it isn't. So I'm just doing a really, and that's another thing as well that is not a pet peeve, because that's not the right thing. You know, if you don't blend perfectly, do you know what? Does it matter? No. So I'm just going to use a little bit of the Twisted Citron now. And just go around the outside edge. And this is so I can create a flat page. I'm going to grab a bit of blue. I fancy a bit of blue. What did I do with the blue? There it is. Oh yeah, definitely. Thank you to everyone who shared the giveaway and joined in. You know, really are so touched. And for giving your time up to come watch. And I know we've put a lot of lives on and everything like this. We didn't want to... We didn't want to just go, here it is, here it is, here it is, here it is. We just wanted to be able to explain, you know, a little bit more about each product, but also, you know, the thought process behind each, and also hats off to Charmaine and Robbie, you know, breaking down each part. So you've got value for money, but if you could only get one part, each part would do so much for you, but also work with whatever you've got in your stash. Right, so I've got that going there, and what I want to do is not use that stamp, Louise. I use my proper name when I'm telling myself off. Right, this is not the best block in the world because it's too big, but let's grab that again. Look at me, I'm tidying up as I go along, and I do this, I must admit. When you see the workshop that we've got planned, I will sit there and I'll be saying in the workshop, right, I'm just tidying this up. So I've got that going there. And I'm just going to, now, because I've got the mask there, it's not picked up all the image, but do you know what? Doesn't matter. Also, I'm using it in my art journal that's got something on the opposite page, and that doesn't matter either. It's giving yourself a breathing space, nothing to worry about. So we've got that. So I'm just using this to create a little bit of a background. And this is from that montage stamp set. But stamp it upside down, stamp it back to front. Okay, let's just do another one. And we're going to do that there. And I have to do a third one over here. Not for any other reason other than I want to elongate it a bit. Okay, so I am going to be good and clean that stamp. I don't know why, but I always seem to clean stamps if I've used oxides. I don't know why, but I have to. So we've got this, you know, going there like that, and that can build across. And then I just want to grab, this is just what's left over from that pink one. So I'm just going to grab this. And I'm sticking to very similar colours. I'm going to use blue. I probably wouldn't. Actually, no. Have I got a frayed burlap around? I'll use hickory smoke for now. And this is all from the same stamp and die set, because the two will go together, obviously. So let's just put that up there. And you don't have to use the whole die. Put that there. I'm going to use a little bit there. Obviously, you've got stencils from the other collection that you could bring in as well. But I just wanted to show just using this stamp set and die set alone. Okay. So, let's just move you guys out of the way. Now, I could stamp in that and it's given me a different sort of look background. But now I've got a background straight away that if I find my stamp block, I've created that ink. Now, this might not stamp straight because I've got the... I would normally put something behind it. I'll see if I can find my mat. I think I've got a layered page behind. Oh, yeah, I have. Any bit of foam packaging you get, or even your mouse mat, just put underneath when you're doing art journal pages and you've got lots of multi-layers. I haven't inked this all up, but I can just put that in there. Okay. I think I've missed a bit of ink there, but that's fine. It'll do. The idea I wanted to share. Move it that way. So now I've got a really quick art journal page, and it's absolutely flat. Just by using that can then I could stamp that image on top of it. Again, I could bring this in if I create a 3D element from it. I could leave it black and white, but then using the die cuts I've got, did I put my pokey tool away now? No, I didn't. Good. So I can just do the die cuts again, and I can have my border like choose. Actually, let's change it. Always. So I'm just going to bring these in always. And then I want the U. Let's find a B. So I can have always be U, and I could have choose. Where's another U? I did cut loads out of everything. Choose U. So very quickly, I can create a really quick art journal page just by using that stamp and die set. And it didn't, as you saw, it didn't take long. I would probably faff about with it a little bit more and bring the colour, but that was to show that you could really I know, Brian, and you do it so well. You know, it was just to show that it doesn't look, when you see the stamps like that, and then you see, I've got, all right, let's move everything out of the way. And then you see the dies, so the two together looks like that, you know, yes, it will cross over to card making, but it's also a great set to get you for an introduction into art journaling if you want to try something. But also you could take that idea and just put it on a card front. You know, it's, it was just to show that it doesn't look, when you see the stamps like that, and then you see the dies, so the two together looks like that, you know, yes, it will cross over to card making, but it's also a great set to get you for an introduction into art journaling if you want to try something. But also you could take that idea and just put it on a card front. And you could take this idea, put it straight away onto a card front, and your art journal is then your starting point for your card designs. Change the background somewhat slightly. So, and that was, like I said, that's what I wanted from the stamp set, that it doesn't look much, but it does so much, very, very easily, and it's not too daunting. I hope that makes sense. Right, so if I'm going to put that down there, and because I've kept you all, I've noticed, because what I want to do is just show you some of the things that other people have been making with it. And if you see behind me in my room how I've put things organised and laid out and everything like that, and I'm not even going till Tuesday, it's a little bit frightening. So these are some of the samples. Charmaine's got a load of samples with her as well. So you'll see, it's great because you're going to see some of the samples from Charmaine, some from me, and then some we're going to leave for Selly Tellyland. So you get to see a bit of everything. So this one is by Alison. So Alison has actually, you know, can you see the little dots? She's used the stencil, a bit of slight inking, a little stamp this straight away, that montage stamp either side. And you've got a quick inky card straight away. And there's no, so if you're not a die cutter, you can still do all the different techniques you want to do. Let's just put you there. And then we've got Sam. So Sam is done lots of layers, so lots of raffia, used lots of everything, made her own backgrounds. I'm going to show you, so that's the die cut, and it's got all the different embossing powders on it. And it's all layered up. And it's all, you know, beautifully done. But instead of die cutting the actual butterfly, she preferred to cut hers out. So that's exactly what she's done. And she's then taken some of the dies from Build a Butterfly 1 that would make the butterfly elements and made them additional wings and some of the flowers. But in the same way, this is a mixed media card. She's actually made it into a traditional, what I would call, stepper card. So this is using a mix of all your different substrates, all your different materials together, so that, you know, to create a traditional shaped card, stepper card, but you can still have fun doing it that way. And again, is this Alison? No, Sam. So Sam has just used the stencils and then stamped, I'm assuming, in like an oxide and spritzed and let the ink come out. And they've got a very subtle background to it. But that, although as a card front, would make a fantastic journal page. And then she's used one of the stickers. I'm truly blessed to have a friend like you. So I can go there. Sorry, I've got... it just has people arrive. Brian, yours did arrive, and I forgot to give you a message. The postman came and knocked yesterday and apologised most profusely. He left it on the van. He was very grovelly. So then again, using the fly high, the papillon and the flutter, Sam has created a strip, torn it. That's the stencils in the background that from the other one. Stamped and die cut that, and suddenly it's then become a shaped card. So did, as you can see, some partial die cutting down the side, and you've then got a shaped card like that. Again, you know, using on your layering circles, if Dolly Dimples has got a large layering stamp. So using the large layering stamp, Sam's created a background and then just cut it out. And then, I think this is Sam, is it? No, it's Patty. Sorry, Patty. Patty's cut it out and then just got the butterfly image on top and a tiny little piece of the die cut there. So again, using the sentiment in a totally different ways and different colours. This one's Jane. So Jane has taken the background, made herself a background, breathe in the air, stamped and die cut it out, and then stamped the additional part of the butterfly. But rather than use the body, she's cut the body away and just used the wings to raise the wings up. So you know, so you can make that look more of a traditional card. And then Sue, I love this idea. So Sue's got the main image there coloured in, but where you've got the leaves at the bottom of the image, she's then gone in and filled the areas around the outside with the bottom part, this part here, to fill up the background. And the smaller butterflies you see there are from Shady Designs, one of the previous sets. Also the Shady Designs on the edge butterfly. I've got a sample, that's one of my demos for Selly Tellyland, so I'm not going to show that one. Using the dies and bringing those in with this image as well. And then Jane has gone very, I love this, just using the same sort of coloured cards with the craft. So using that montage stamp, created a whole background just using that montage, stamping onto, you know, craft and colouring. But then this part here, she's stamped, but rather than layer the wings up, she's just literally layered each other up. So if I put it that way, you can see all the different layers that way. So you don't have to have it so you're just doing the body and the wings. You can actually do traditional parts there. Now the vellum and the stickers and things like that, you see, if you tune in at 6 o'clock tonight, Charmaine's going to show you all of those sort of things as well. And then I love this. This is Brian's. Yeah, I recognise your work, Brian. This is one of the Shady Design tags that came from one of the paper kits, the Painted Mixing. So cutting the tag out and then just stamping and die cutting the actual image, but not actually the whole of it. Stopping and cutting some of it away and then just putting simple sentiments. So that's a tag that could go, I know it's got Brian's name on the back there, but that could go on a present. So if you've got your previous Shady Designs kits, there is tags in there. It's combining the two together and you've created something a little bit different. Okay, right. And then I love this. This is Brian. Yeah. You know, we recognise this is, the background is a Shady Designs background from the background kit. So using the montage stamp, we've got the montage here, but where we've got the whole butterfly going on here, Brian's actually stamped it again, but put the wings going that way. So now has made it a whole butterfly. So rather than the single, he's actually stamped it and cut it out. So it would then make a double butterfly onto the same log. So Charmaine's quote, oh, Charmaine, oh, yes, she did get carried away on some of them. We had to rein some of them in. So she kept coming to me, oh, what do you think about this one? And you know when you go, yeah, they would be absolutely fantastic, but maybe not for Selly Tellyland. And Sue has done this one again. So this is now similar to what I just done, keeping everything tonal and in the same colours. Used the stencils from Butterfly, both of them, from 1 and 2, the montage stamp, and then just stamping in this and letting the colours bleed out and sticking to a very, very simple colour palette, but it stands out in different ways. But then I just want to grab Jane's. Let me just move those out of the way. And I just want to grab Jane's. Oh, right, hold on a moment. Sorry, I'm keeping everything in order, she says, for a particular reason. Right, okay. Oh. So if you're mixing it in with the other butterflies that you were going to do, it is, Anthony, and it is lovely to see, and because everybody puts in a lot of work, and the presenters, I'm not going to knock any of the presenters, because I tell you what, I wouldn't want their job for love nor money. Do you know, in their defence, they really do want to show off as much as physically possible. They really, really do. But time goes against them, and they've got the voices in their ears as well. But the presenters are in awe of what everybody brings as samples. You know, so it is a tricky one. So Jane here, which I'm showing here, so as you can see, this is the die from the Breathe in the Air. And Jane's layered it up to be like a chipboard. So you could bring it in with your others. And this is using Build a Butterfly 2. But these are the same words embossed in gold, and so that's on a canvas. So you know, you can go down that route if you wanted to. But this is the one I wanted to share as well. Let's move these. And this is in a frame, and I'm trying to, and you can see all of they're all that die cut in different colours, from creams, dark browns, light browns. And then I love the idea of the corrugated card in the background, and layering them all up with different pieces, and then one of the butterflies images from the Builder Butterfly set actually sitting on top. So those dies will work if you want with the other images as well. But so you can do your 3D dramatic pieces as well. But finally, I'm putting things first. So this is one of the ones that I did. So what I've done is I've done where I've cut away partial die cutting down the side using the Breathe in the Air, and stamped and coloured it, as you can see, and then brought in the Builder Butterfly 2, but I've used them as if it was sitting in the trees into the canopy and the wings, and that's all it now needs is a sentiment. I'm dreadful, and I'm going to say, sorry, I'm out the camera, sorry. I have tinnitus, yeah, I can't, oh, Catherine, it was lovely. Thank you for sharing your photos with me. It was brilliant to see your craft area. Sorry if I've missed any comments. I know Charmaine's on as well, but I will go back and have a look. But I wanted to, you know, so you can do things like that. So we can have partial die cutting. I know Charmaine's got a couple of demos with partial die cutting lined up as well. Because we are conscious of the time that we want to show you as much as possible. But, you know, as I said, we will be bringing out lots of inspiration in between. But it does mix and match. You can then make it 3D. That just needs a sentiment. And as I was saying, I'm dreadful for sentiments. I leave mine. I can't make my decision up with what I want to do. So I have to live with my project for a while. And then literally then I'll put a sentiment on it. Just the way I work. That's why I find it really hard when I'm demoing sometimes. And finally, so this is making a quick frame using Builder Butterfly 2, and I showed this last night, and all I've done is just quickly slathered some green and blue paint. I haven't gone into any more detail than that, but I can create the frame like I was doing, cut it away. But now this would be a 7x7 card. I can put, if I want to bring this back on, because the butterfly body is very similar to Builder Butterfly 2, I could actually have this on there, cut this away, and my sentiment could be on the inside of my card, you know, like an insert. I couldn't think of the word then. And, you know, so again, it can be used with both, or it can be used standalone. So that was really today's, was just to show that it looks like it won't, whoa, sorry, I've got bits of paper now attacking me. It looks like it won't do very, you know, it looks obvious is the word, but it, you know, it will do lots, like, you know, the word, the size of the font has been done differently, so you can create your backgrounds, you know, from your waist. This will work as a stencil as well as somewhere to put your butterfly on. You've got the dies that cut that out, but you've also got the die that then cuts the smaller butterfly out, and it does, you know, so many different things. Well, as you saw, like making that in 10-15 minutes. So it can take you, you can do card making and, you know, moving over into lots of different ways. And I have to, I'm going to say, yeah, I have to say a huge thank you to everyone who's made the samples. It's great because everybody has a different viewpoint. We don't actually talk to one another. We all go away and do us. And I think that's important because it shows how we all craft in different ways. And we have different skill sets. We have different colour vibes and everything like that. And I think that's really important, you know, to have those choices. Different things sing to different people. Right. Thank you ever so much. Don't forget, if you haven't entered the draw is a giveaway for the whole collection, including Breathe in the Air. So you'll get Builder Butterfly 1, Builder Butterfly 2 and the matching dies, Breathe in the Air and all the die set, plus the 2 stencils that are going on. So all the new items that are going on. There are lots of other little bits of new items which Charmaine will show. So if you can, it'd be lovely if you could join Charmaine at 6 o'clock tonight. The reason for 6 o'clock and not 7 is we are aware of the 2-minute silence at 8 o'clock, and we wanted to get everything to show you all, and everybody be able to get off social media ready to join in for that 2 minutes. Tracy, if you go to, once this live is finished, if you go back onto Dolly Dimples Crafts, the page where you're watching this live, you'll see pinned to the top of the page the giveaway, and all the details are on there, and it should be there. Absolutely everything that you need to do. Take care, everyone. Thank you ever so much for your time this Sunday morning. Have a really good day, whatever your plans are. And I'll be in the comments at 6 o'clock. But I can't wait to see what Charmaine does next. Oh, before I go, everything will be uploaded to the Dolly Dimples YouTube channel, which we'll start dropping links into. We're going to be looking to do more on YouTube as well. Jane, going to be talking to you. So take care, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.